Everybody, this is Perch. Will NFTs, this technology, will it solve the problem, officially solve the problem of moving comics to this next level, this next digital level? Will it do it? This is a hope that I think a lot of people have, but my answer is no. That doesn't mean it's bad, but it means this technology alone is not going to cause this shift. And I'm saying this because I'm old. No, well, that's part of it. I have lived through the Amazon's going to solve this problem. Comixology is going to solve this problem. All you can eat streaming service is going to solve this problem. Lots of people have have said that they can solve this problem. That basically this new technology, this is it. This new thing that's coming is going to bring this evolution into the comic industry. It's going to change. It's going to provide these brand new things. And the reality is, technologies don't move behavior. User experiences move behavior, and that's a simple way of saying, I think, something extremely fundamental. You can make the smartest, coolest, most amazing technology you want. If you have not tied a user experience to it, if you've not tied a use case to it, people won't adopt it. They won't know what to do with it. If you look back in time and you look at other fields, you look at things like Windows 95. Now, if you're a techie, if you were super engineering geeky around 1994, 95, then you saw what Microsoft and Bill Gates were doing as this abomination of garbage. It was the dumbifying of operating systems, and there were lots of people that were saying exactly that. There's many articles in much the same way that when AOL started to make message boards, people on the old Usenet were talking about how stupid this stuff was and how this was dumbing down technology, and it was this is awful. It will never be accepted by the technology community. But of course, it was. It was because the masses are not early adopters. They're not high technical people. And many of them, when they go to a computer, they want to do something with it. They're not thinking about what's inside that computer. It's one of the areas that if you go to Best Buy or the Apple Store or whatever else, and you're buying a new laptop or you're buying a router, you're buying these technologies, it's one area where people get it wrong on a regular basis. How do they get it wrong? Because they tell you things that are meant to sound impressive, but if you have no context for them, if you don't know what these things mean, it does not matter. Like, this one has a 2.3 gigahertz processor compared to this one that is dual floating point with the Intel versus AMD. Most people don't know what that shit means. Sorry, children. Most people don't know what this stuff is. So Apple actually, to their credit, somewhat effectively, on their website, they put like a big super zoomed in view of a chip, and they're like, this is the Mark 7 chip here. It's Mark 7. It's amazing. You've got to have it's Mark 7. Did you realize this is a Mark 7 chip? Look at it. It's black and it's got a shiny sheen to it, and then like the letters are in gold. That's how they promote it. And for people who are looking at this stuff, they're like, I have no idea what those words mean, but it's got gold on it, so it must be super fast. It must be amazing. You have to do that because most people have no idea what you're talking about. I always cracks me up when I go into Best Buy and they're like, there's these piles of routers there, and this kind of changed with Orbi and stuff people are doing now. But they're like, hey, did you realize that this router has dual floating point 5G technology? Did you realize? And it's like, I don't know what that means, but it's got a lot of words and it costs $100 more. I have a friend, long ago, who would work at Best Buy, and he's like, what they learned was people would come in, they would stare at this technology, they would have no idea what the differences is. They read the little plaques underneath trying to explain what's going on, and they would finally come to the conclusion of the one that's most expensive must be the best. And so they would move the price around based on what they had in stock to make sure that they're always changing what was most expensive, because people would come in and like, I do not know what this router technology means, so I want good fast internet. Good fast internet must equal cost the most. Buy. And that was the decision they were making. So what does all this have to do with comics? Well, when we talk about NFTs, it's interesting. If you saw that other video, I talked a little bit about what NFTs are at a basic level. But the technology alone isn't going to solve anything. When you talk about digital, and you see it when I do videos asking people if they would go to digital or what would it take, there's many people who say nothing, and those are interesting, but they're not that interesting. It doesn't give you much data. Nothing doesn't help terribly. But what does help is when you see things like I don't want to sit with a hot tablet on my lap reading a comic. The efficiency of having all my comics in one place so I don't have to get off the chair and go get a beer is not as good as this uncomfortable reading experience. Or the light hurts my eyes, or the colors seem off on the tablet. While those things sound trivial, those are the key factors. Those are the things that are going to prevent adoption. You have to think about the use case. It's why when Bill Gates was trying to make an operating system, rather than call it, Windows XP or any of the rest of this stuff, they did a lot of focus group testing. It's like people like years, they can wrap their heads around that. And we're going to, hide the file explorer and these other pieces, and we're going to make it super pretty. It was kind of the idea behind Clippy, if you remember that abomination of a mess, or Microsoft Bob, which had cartoon characters kind of teaching you how to print things. That's what they were trying to accomplish. Comics absolutely is in need of a change. From a technology perspective, it is going to change. But the user experience is it. What comics has to do, what the publishers, frankly, have to do, or somebody like an Amazon, like a Comixology, they've got to convince people, hey, this experience of having things digital, of being able to flip through an entire library, of being able to quickly maybe click on Hawkeye, and there's an image recognition that recognizes Hawkeye, and it tells you all the other comics Hawkeye's in, with one click. That's the kind of stuff that's going to move readers and going to build up this space. NFT alone is not going to do it. Cloud hosting isn't going to do it. None of this stuff is going to do it. It's fancy, and people will tell you, and I'm sure many are already telling you, hey, the great thing about NFTs is it brings in collectability. So you will know that this copy is yours, and it will have your name on it stamped, and then that's going to bring this new economy into comics. That'll work for some people, but not the masses, not enough to count. What's going to matter to them is the reading experience good? Are there things that you can do only with digital that you can't do in print that make the experience better, fancier, all the rest? What are those items? What are those things that drives this user experience? That's what's going to change stuff. That's what's going to move the market. It's going to have nothing to do with technology. It's going to be the user experience that the technology enables. That's the key. And that's why I know I've done videos talking about the experience-driven comic shop and the user experience of technology. That's why the user experience matters the most. All the tech in the world does not matter if you don't know what to do with it, if you don't give people a compelling reason to adopt. And things that are kind of based or rooted in the other technology, like, for example, this will increase collectability, that will certainly help for some, but all you're doing is you're giving the people who are already collectors a potential other option for their collection. That doesn't grow a market, that just moves a market, like another video I did recently. To grow the market, you've got to convince people, hey, here's something you can do. It's easy to adopt. It's fast. You get more value out of it. Lots of people were absolutely against moving to digital music. When iTunes came out and made it very easy and allowed purchase by song and related content, all the rest that iTunes did, and they put it on a little physical device you can just put in your pocket and run around with, then suddenly, magically, adoption happens. And that's what's going to happen here as well. Let me know if you have any questions, you disagree, I'm nuts, all the rest. Let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.